Thank you. Yes, thank you. No, please. Thank you. Hey, thank you. Greetings, class of 2020. My name is Jason Wright, and it is my distinct honor to be your virtual commencement speaker. So many of you reached out and asked me to film a commencement address. Thank you. How many did you say reached out? Oh, 0. Okay. Well, I'm in a tie already, so I might as well. Look, graduates, for reasons that you already know, you are a part of history. You comprise one of the most unusual graduating classes ever. And because of that, and frankly, just because we love you, you deserve some truth. In fact, may I offer something of a confession on behalf of the adults in your life? You, yes, you probably can't become whatever you want. It's kind of a fib. And people who have loved you for a long time have repeated it over and over. Just dream big, and before you know it, you could be playing in the NFL or the NBA or performing at the Grammys with Billie Eilish. Or my big dream, winning a gold medal in table tennis. I did not. Grads, I'm here today to tell you that you're probably not going to play in the Super Bowl, and you're probably not going to dunk on LeBron James, and you're probably not going to sing a duet with Billie Eilish. I mean, you could do the green thing maybe that she does in her hair, but you're probably not going to sing a collab with her. I think that's what they call it. I don't really know. But grads, here's what you can do. Instead of focusing on what you become, you can worry about who you become. The who in you. Now, sure, some dreams are absolutely worth hanging on to. And if you're dreaming of hitting a home run in Game 7 of the World Series, who am I to tell you to stop? But your legacy, that thing that you leave behind, it's not going to be about money in the bank or professional accomplishments or how many Instagram followers you have. Your legacy isn't tied to the what. It's anchored in the who. What good is it to have millions in the bank and to be wealthy, but to treat people poorly? What good is it to crush it on Apple Music if the messages of the music aren't meant to move and motivate people? What good is winning a Nobel Peace Prize or Pulitzer if people aren't put first in your life? Grads, I think in 5 or 10 years, you're going to come home and have one of the most bizarre high school reunions in history. I imagine that you'll stand around some hotel ballroom or under a pavilion in a park, and most of you won't be talking about prom or senior skip day or what it was like when your obnoxious uncle blew a foghorn at your graduation. But you'll still remember plenty about the high school experience. I remember plenty of mine, and I remember my reunions. I remember thinking how much we'd all grown. But what I didn't remember, and honestly, I'm not sure anyone else does either, is who was prom king and queen. And I don't remember whether we beat our rivals or who starred in the spring musical. And it's certainly not as if those things didn't matter. Of course they do. But there's so much that matters so much more. I remember looking around the room at the aged and experienced faces like mine and remembering how they treated me and how they treated one another. Were they kind? Were they forgiving? Were they generous? Were they honest? Did they stand up for the little guy? And of course, I looked in the mirror and I asked myself the same questions. And sure, there were discussions about college and kids and careers and who was changing the world, but I can't really tell you what they'd become. I only have a pretty good sense of the who. There are people who love their families, people who care for their communities, people who donate time and money to movements that matter to them. People who love their neighbors, their country, and their God. Okay, so graduates of 2020, what does this all mean for you? It means that as you transition through one of the strangest seasons of your lives, maybe ask yourself not what you want to be, but who you want to be. Yes, please go to college or trade school and get a degree and earn a living and make a name for yourself, sure. But don't become so focused on what you are in titles and bank balances that you forget who you are. A few years ago, I spoke at a more traditional graduation ceremony with thousands of people and hundreds of grads and all the pomp and circumstance. In the months and weeks and even minutes before I spoke, the administration communicated that I needed to be very careful about not injecting religion in any way into my remarks. And perhaps it was understandable. It was a public school, and that particular school in that particular community represents dozens of nationalities and faiths or no faith from around the world. But today there isn't a principal looking over my shoulder, ready to cut off my mic or tackle me from behind. And so let me say this. As you focus on who you're becoming, please don't lose sight of who you already are. You are a son or daughter of a literal, loving, everlasting God. The world will do everything it can to persuade you as you roll into adulthood and independence that the traditions and faiths of your fathers and mothers are false. Now, the easy thing to do would be to tell you to take it from someone who knows, right? Take it from someone who has asked a lot of questions and studied and pondered and come to my own conclusions. And so, heavens to Murgatroyd, you should trust me. No, don't. Don't take it from me. Take it from him. When you wonder if you can become the who that you want to be, look up and ask who you already are, a son or daughter of a literal, loving, everlasting God. He will tell you. Graduates of the class of 2020, go be great. Go change the world with the who inside you on behalf of your family and friends and people who love you more than you can possibly know. We think that the who in you is already pretty great. We love you. We're proud of you. And we can't wait to see you days or decades from now. And it's not because we're worried about what you'll become. No, it's because we're so confident in who you'll become. Feel loved because you are. And congratulations. You did it.